I did think he meant a slug.
Maybe we'll have to remember that for, like, what food?
Escargot, Richard, whoever style.
Escargot snails, not slugs.
I know. That's what I said.
Why did you drink, Debbie?
It's him naked. I haven't even finished one glass.
I swear you were like hammered during this episode.
I have had less than 4 ounces of wine.
Hey, and welcome to Middle Ground Books After Hours.
My name's Megan.
I'm Debra.
And I'm Lance, and you are joining us for a special episode.
Why is it special, Lance?
Because this is coming to you from the past. Ooh. Megan's pointing and gesticulating. We have discovered that we have a backlog of episodes, and we really need to probably record some things that have to do with Christmas, since like Christmas is coming up, and there's some other things.
But it's not when you're probably hearing this.
Yes, so like
Christmas is
we're
probably
recording sometime in the distant past, probably around Christmas.
The distant past, the year 2025.
And if you know Flight at the Conchords, you're cool. But so this is an episode that is dedicated. Mine is special. Like, I can only say it's special.
From what I've heard about this, I think you talked about it in a previous episode, right?
I mentioned it, and I read a little bit in the back.
It's the portions that we were subjected to, and yes, I did use that word deliberately.
It was deliberate.
Were not to my liking.
It's pretty cringeworthy.
Oh my goodness.
But
I can't believe you suffered through the entire thing.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
it's amazing.
it's one of those pocket paper books. It's not like one of those heavy tomes that you have to like.
It's a pulp novel for sure.
yeah,
Thankfully,
totally.
it's short.
And Debra has 2 books tonight that have little in common, and Megan has 1 book. And
I
we're
can
just
talk about 2, maybe. And partially way through 2.
All right. So thank you for hanging out with us. And this is I don't know if we're going to time this for like some special event, like when we have 3 people who listen, like who like follow. Well, congratulations! This is a special episode because 3 people followed us.
We could do it in April when this author is going to release her next book.
Or we could do it. We could launch this never.
If this is supposed to be out of time, we're sure mentioning a lot of times.
Yeah. So you're getting this at some time in the
maybe it's
distant
April
future.
2026. Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's like this is like a time capsule. So anyway, I just realized I left my notes in the other room, so I'm going to have to run and grab them, and you can start talking about your 2 books. Or
should we just pause?
no,
and then
Megan,
out?
you just go for it. Get started.
I'm sorry, I was going to go on a rabbit trail about time capsules, but you're getting right to business, so I will.
Well, you can talk
up
about
and zip my lip.
All right.
Well, I wanted to hear what you were going to say about time capsules now.
I just am thinking back that I feel like when I was in maybe middle school or high school, I put some items in a time capsule, and I don't remember what year they were supposed to be opened. And it was kind of a thing that everybody did, like different schools and different organizations.
So it's for your school?
I feel like I did. But I don't hear about time capsules being created anymore. It's kind of one of those weird.
I don't think we did one when I was in school. Though, honestly, when I was in like middle school, like doing one, it feels like the time to have done it would have been like the year 2000. Mm-hmm. You know? Because like, then you could open it.
Momentous day in history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y2K.
Yeah. It's the end of the world as we know it.
And we were fine.
Yeah, absolutely nothing happened. Woo!
I guess we're paying for it now.
Yeah. Maybe it was just a time delay.
Yeah.
Everything went wrong. You know, it just took a while. So
Like that was when the fuse
It's a
was
slow release.
Yeah.
We didn't start the fire.
okay.
It was always
So the 100,000 Kingdoms by Nick.
N.K. Jemisin.
I really respect authors who just use their initials. It's a long and proud tradition. P.D. James, J.R.R. Tolkien, Ellen Montgomery,
Yeah.
A.A. Milne.
Makes me wonder what their actual name is.
I always look it up.
Maybe it's just Nick.
I don't think so.
Makes you think it must be something they awkward or they didn't like or they wanted to go for that like literary connection with
Maybe
all
it's
of those
like-
past.
Norbert King.
Or is it girl? Is it a girl?
I think, yeah, a
Then
woman.
definitely, if I
they
was
a
a
boy
girl,
or a
my
girl?
name was Norbert. Like,
For sure, that would not be a good name if you're a girl, but I have heard worse.
well, and I had my friend that I went to school with that his name was A.D. Like,
His actual
He
name
didn't
on his
have-
birth
and
certificate.
people would say, "Well, what does A.D. stand for?" And it was like A.D.
That was his entire
That was his
name.
entire name. Like that was it.
Well, his
That's
parents
bizarre.
were expecting him to be an author, I guess, or
Or just have a really great story when he was trying to get introduced. Like, or
Just make it weird for him.
make it weird for him at every social situation, every job interview.
I would have just started making up things different each time. What it stood for.
That's a
Yeah.
great idea. Like you could tell one person your name was Anthony David. You could tell the next person your name was
Annabelle,
Armand.
Dorothy,
Armand. Yes.
Something. I don't know.
or Loki Sky Dragon.
Yeah, but something it has
Sky
to be.
Lizard.
That's
I know,
not.
yeah,
that's
it's-
not.
you're right.
AD stands for Loki Sky.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
You just meaning using crazy words instead of actual names.
Yeah, everybody look up Loki Sky Lizard. He's actually a doctor.
Shout out to Loki Sky Lizard.
Yeah, shout out to Loki Sky Lizard
For choosing his own name at 13.
Wow. Yeah. and keeping it as he's a specialist of some kind. I don't remember, but I had to actually Google him, and yes, it's true. Loki Sky Lizard.
So who is NK?
Nora Kita? Keita?
Kita?
Keita?
Kita.
Nora
Kaita.
Kita.
Okay, so
Kaita.
tell us about the 100,000 Kingdoms.
Maybe that's why.
We're 8 minutes in, and we have
Sorry, we haven't even
successfully
just talked
discussed
about. We've just
absolutely
been
nothing.
rambling about nonsense. But
We've
that's
been
kind of our jam.
Being
So-
ridiculous together.
So, the 100,000 Kingdoms is a fantasy novel, and I think I started one of this author's books before that was like an urban fantasy, and I didn't get it finished before I had to return it to the library, so I never finished it. I'm liking this one a lot more, like even more than that one. It's in this fantastical kingdom, and there's a lot of like political maneuvering and intrigue because the main character has been summoned to court by her grandfather, who she doesn't know, and is named to be one of his potential heirs. Her mother kind of left the kingdom when she married her father.
So
And,
is this a
like,
YA novel? Is she like a
She's
17-year-old
no.
thrown
She's-
into her?
She's 19, but this definitely doesn't read like a coming of age. Like there's a lot of like, she doesn't seem like a teenager to me. Like she's, yeah. I kind of forget that she's only supposed to be 19 actually a lot of the time.
Oh,
But
that's good. That means you're not constantly going, why are you being so dumb?
yeah, I don't really think she's being dumb. I mean, there are
Good.
some moments where she's like, this is maybe a bad idea. She's very out of her depth because she's thrown into this kingdom where she doesn't like know how things work, and like because she's grown
Are
up
there
in a
magical
totally,
systems?
Yeah,
Are
there is magic.
Learned or inherit to the person at birth?
I think it's a learned, and not everyone wields it. It comes from the gods, and in this like this royal family that this kingdom that she's in now, like her grandfather's side, there's some of the gods they've been imprisoned into like human form, and they're basically like the slaves of this royal family, and they have to like do their bidding, and they don't like that.
That sounds like a very bad idea.
Yeah, and they I think the the gods are kind of wanting her to
Help
free them. And she, not really being involved in this.
So she's going to be like a fantasy Harriet Tubman.
That ends up destroying the world.
Also, maybe. I haven't finished it yet.
Well,
But
then even if you had, you couldn't tell us because that would make it so no one would.
So is there public transport in this book? Like, can they take a bus?
No. She does do a magical transport. One of the gods transports
But like the
her
average
somewhere.
guy,
Like
they
a Tesseract.
can't catch a bus.
No, it's like a carriage. She went by carriage.
A magical carriage.
There's like a magical, like in this crazy palace that she's in, there's like a crazy elevator thing to take her to different floors. So like there's magic, but like not everyone's a magic user. It's
Okay,
not
my question. Who would you recommend this to? Like what books is it similar to? Or I should say, would you recommend it? Or
I would, especially if you like a lot of the like political intrigue and like, because she's, who do I trust? She doesn't know if she can trust these gods. She doesn't think she can trust any of her family that she barely knows.
that's just normal paranoia.
Yeah, like no, it's
Good
like
Douglas Adams quote.
She's been put into this kind of impossible situation. Like she's not really sure why her grandfather brought her into this.
Okay, but
she's
my
not sure,
question was, who would you recommend it to?
Steve.
Maybe.
We don't know any Steves, just for anybody listening.
You mean Ron? Would you recommend it to Ron?
Ron's stuck
Maybe.
listening to the review anyway. Would you recommend it to a D&D nerd?
Yeah, I think so. Because there's like some of the like creation myth that gets worked in and like conspiracy about that, where she's like, I've been told this about how these gods fell and became the, servants of this royal family. And then there's also like, is that really true? And she's finding out, she's discovering all these things, and that maybe what she had been told is not really how things went down.
I mean, that just sounds like everyone's life.
And I came up with a question that I asked in a former podcast, and I think it needs to just be part of our shtick. If this book was food, what food would it be? Like, I think that's going to be my standard question now. And I'm actually thinking about what food my book would be.
Something that makes one want to vomit.
I don't know what this would be. She, like, this world, like, there's 100,000 kingdoms, which is the title of the book. But,
So maybe it's like a tossed salad.
well, she does mention some of the things she eats. She's been, like, gets brought food from her country. It, like, seems like a very more, like, sort of, like, African or tribal type of that she's from. And so, like,
So
some of the food
maybe
they
it's
brought her was like that.
Cocoyam,
Or fufu and jama jama.
fufu, yeah. African.
So, and like her, I'm really liking it. I do want to finish it. I think there are more in the series, though, is the problem. And I'm going to be like, no, now I have to commit to a whole series.
It does happen.
Because I'm sure it's going to end on a cliffhanger if it's a series.
Hey, Debbie, somebody asked me how to, like, find us on the internet.
I don't know. I don't know how they use it. Megan? Help.
If you just search Middle Ground Books, you should find us.
Really?
We have a Google business profile where you can click on our website. You can find our phone number to give us a call. And yeah, you can find our social media platforms that we are on, such as
Could they
Instagram.
text our phone number too?
You can text our phone number.
Okay.
We frequently text people when their books that they have ordered have arrived.
People can order books from us?
They can. They can.
What if they live in Sweden and they want to order books from us?
Well, they can go to our website and click the shop button, and that will take them to bookshop.org, where they can support our bookstore from afar and buy books online and have them shipped to them.
Can they buy ebooks if they don't want to wait on shipping?
They absolutely can. Bookshop.org now has ebooks. It's pretty incredible. If you are a fan of audiobooks, you can also click the link on our website for Libro FM and support our bookstore via purchasing audiobooks or subscribing.
Then I could listen in my car.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Okay, you keep alluding to your books, so please, sir, tell us about the
Okay.
wonderful
So,
book you suffered through.
published in 1955. It's a gold medal book, D1604, originally 50 cents cover price.
And it wasn't worth...
By Richard S. Prather. Over 30 million Shell Scott books in print in 1955.
Is that...
It's 30 with 6 zeros following it. And the title of the book is Strip for Murder. And I'm going to... I read this in a former podcast, but I just need to read it again. The Naked Truth. The gorgeous tomato met me at the gate, and every time she breathed, I nearly went mad. She was really stripped for action. I'm Shell Scott, the private eye with 20/20 vision, and man, was that gonna come in handy in this joint. The gorgeous tomato led me up a path that opened onto a big grassy lawn, and then my teeth began to rattle. My God, spelled MIGAWD. There were hundreds of them, capering joyfully around on the green. I'd been hired to find a killer in a nudist colony, and I was going to look pretty damn silly wearing nothing but my dog.
I totally do not understand him referencing a woman as a tomato.
Yeah, I've never heard of that either.
There's a lot of things we don't know about
dame,
1955.
Well, is it like a predatory kind of thing? Like he wants to eat her up?
It doesn't.
I don't even get it.
I don't know.
I probably don't want to know.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to say.
Disturbing.
Before I talk about the book and flump it on the table again. Richard S. Prather wrote under David Knight and Douglas Rink. All of this is, you can validate this from the Wikipedia article. He served in the Merchant Marine from 1942 to 1945. He was the Private Eye Writers of America Lifetime Achievement Award in 1986. Twice served as the board of directors of the Mystery Writers of America.
Oh my goodness.
He was married to his wife, Tina, for 58 years of marriage, and she was his primary editor. And
So she read all of this stuff.
And then I read another article that was the last interview that he did before he passed away on a different site. And he said to his interviewer, I created Shell Scott so the protagonist in all of these books is Shell Scott. I created Shell Scott as essentially a light-hearted, optimistic, happy-go-lucky fellow. And from the beginning, I wanted my books, even though they're mystery novels about murder and crimes and troubles and crooks, to reflect that upbeat attitude, to focus more on the mystery than the murder, more on the approaching light than the gathering darkness. There's always enough misery in the world, and I didn't want to add more to it.
It
put in lots of tomatoes.
It gave me lots of misery listening to the portions he read aloud. He did not succeed. He made Debra very miserable.
I don't think you're the target audience for this, though. Like, I don't think he was writing for a female reader.
So I really think that in lots of... So I've got this really kind of majestic book by Taschen, and those of you who come into the store know that I kind of love Taschen books.
It's a publishing house that makes beautiful books, is what you're saying.
They originally started in Germany, and we always have some Taschen books in stock. But they made this book called Men's Adventure Magazines that runs kind of the 40s through the 60s, and they're these really very sensual, sexual, erotic type magazines. In the black wave of terror, or, my flesh was eaten by ferrets, or real men, you and your sex life. Wyatt Earp, hero or heel. And they've got all these, and they really cash in on the lowest denominator.
Are those actual titles of articles or magazines? Those
are the real titles of articles. The magazine, I would urge you to look at the Taschen book, Men's Adventure Magazines. I wouldn't say it's life-changing, but it definitely opens you to a new era. It was a different world.
An old era, not a new era.
A new old era.
It makes me understand somewhat more why there was the rise of feminism. What am I saying?
Feminism?
The feminist movement in the 60s. If that was the magazines that were marketed to men.
Okay, and now here's the thing that is kind of interesting, because what I was going to say is he has an exact counterpart in 50 Shades of Grey. Because he graduated from a junior college.
Okay.
He worked as a clerk, and he never took any writing courses, never went to
I
any.
never would have guessed.
No, he, come on, compared to the book that we got this last week.
Oh, yeah. The self-published.
Maybe his wife was a better editor.
I think, because he talks about that how Shel Scott is like his creation, and that every author kind of puts some of who he is into his protagonist. And his belief that all women are goddesses are positive qualities that he inherited in part from his creator, quote. And so Shel Scott does talk about women like someone from 1955 would talk about women, and especially women's bodies, et cetera, et cetera. But in a lot of ways, he talks, like the two books that he recommends in the article. One was Characters Make Your Story, which is all about just showing and not telling, and making sure your character is somebody that people are going to like, care about, being invested in. And the other one was Writing to Sell by Scott Meredith. And he said, basically, he wanted to write fiction that sold. And you know what?
Apparently
I guess he did, yeah.
30 million in print.
Oh, no, he has more than 40 million worldwide with translations in other countries.
Obviously, the book market wanted a very different sort of product back then.
But then you think about, okay, what's the best seller in the last few years?
Sex.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey was right at the top. So let's say 50 years from now, actually 70 years from now, we look back at 50 Shades of Grey. What do you think people are...
I think people are already cringy about it, just from the amount of
But you're not wrong.
used copies that end up donated to Goodwill,
But they
to
always
the library.
go out again. Like, we've sold several used copies that have passed through our store. So someone is still wanting to read it.
But going back to this book, a couple of things that are kind of interesting. Shel Scott is in a lot of ways, like there's a lot of violence, a lot of like...
Ridiculous violence.
A lot like the 70s and 80s detective cop show dramas where the detective
Unbelievable things happen.
gets away with stuff that never, like, and then he's
Jumping
got
the
a
shark
friend.
sort of stuff.
Well, no, it's more like stuff that would never work with any sort of jurisprudence or with a detective working with the police now.
Yeah.
It's like he's got buddies on the force, hey, and they're like sharing information and like
Stuff that's completely illegal.
and gets a call from like the police call the bank, and he gets access to people's private bank records and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like, that would never
Which
happen.
makes me think of Naked Gun.
He does kind of look...
Yeah, he's got
on
white
the cover.
hair, and it
Yeah.
makes me wonder
And we
a little
just-
bit if Leslie Nielsen was in some ways.
Like, if he read those books.
It
to
very
prepare
well
for
could
his
be.
role. I mean, I believe it.
Well, but they talked about the whole jurisprudence thing in the new Naked Gun, the one with Liam Neeson, and that tracks.
In the book, Shel Scott starts out, he's working for Madame Redstone. She has $15 million like that she inherited from her parents. Her husband married her for her money. He drunk himself to death. She has 2 children. He thinks one of them is a male and one is a female.
He doesn't even know.
He doesn't know because it's not important, because the one he is interested in is this heel named Andon Poupel, who is married the elder daughter of the Redstone estate. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't think that. Before we went into more of the plot, I wanted to ask, would you ever honestly recommend this book to anyone? Like, there's no point in telling us all the plot if you wouldn't honestly recommend it to anyone.
Well, that's hard.
And of course, we have to give you back your own question. What food would this book be?
I thought about this. I thought that what food would it be? It would totally be bologna. It would be bologna because it was commercially mass produced.
Sure.
It was very popular with men in the 50s.
Yeah.
And it is not so popular anymore. Like,
So you would recommend this book to people who, in whatever year this podcast is out there, still buy bologna.
well, and sometimes like a guy still wants a bologna sandwich.
You still crave a bologna sandwich.
Yeah, every now and again it's like, you know what I need? I need a bologna sandwich.
I don't. No, I don't. That does not.
Sometimes I do say, I want a crappy McDonald's hamburger. I do that sometimes.
Well, and the funny thing is, I was talking about this book with someone who was at the book event that we had.
Oh, yeah.
In some time in the past, in our past, possibly your future, but probably also still your past. And she really kind of defended Richard Prather.
Really?
Yeah.
She had read it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
This exact book or just one of the...
No, not
just the author
this,
himself.
like, because he wrote, like, a lot of books.
Well, you said he had 40 million sold around the world, so
he was on the detective writers board thing.
He got some kind of award.
And so this book, by the end, okay, so most of you aren't going to read this.
No.
So I'm not going to worry about the spoilers. The shtick is, there are two heirs of Lady Redstone, and one of them has married a really horrible guy, Anton Popeil. Mr. Popeil. No, it's not Popeil spelled that way, but it's a similar thing. And the Madame Redstone wants him to find out what happened to the detective she hired to investigate this guy because he was dead.
That seems suspicious.
And wanted to find out why the detective, like, because the detective gave a report, but it didn't make any sense. Like, it seemed like this guy was great. And he claimed to be a stockbroker, but he's clearly not a stockbroker. At one point, Shell asks him, yeah, tell me what AT&T, what the stock is going for that right now. And the guy just cussed him out. He's clearly a thug, a con man, a dubious person.
Okay.
And so as he's starting on that case, he gets a call. The person says it's Mrs. Redstone's daughter.
A phone call, by the way, that somebody had to know where he was and how to contact him because there weren't cell phones in 1950. So,
well, they could have looked him up in the book,
right?
Yeah.
Phone books. Okay.
What?
They called him at his residence.
They called him at the office.
At his office. Okay.
He probably has like a business card and stuff.
Anyway, short story long, he goes to the address given by the daughter, and a cute naked girl comes out to the gate, and he's like, and she said, oh, come on in. And so he comes in. And so the other child was Sydney, and he didn't know that Sydney
started a nudist colony?
Was part of a nudist colony, and her first name is actually Laurel, but she goes by Sydney. And so he ends up at this nudist colony, and she called him because there had been attempts on her life, and also the second attempt on her life had crippled the fitness director. And so he needed to come and pretend to be the fitness director in order to protect her. And he had all of the misgivings and embarrassments.
So does he have any experience with
fitness?
Being a fitness instructor? Like if someone told me, okay, Debbie, your undercover role right now is to be a yoga instructor, I'd be like, well, then we're screwed.
It's funny because
I could maybe do some deep breathing, maybe a tree pose and downward facing dog, but after that.
Well, and that comes into it later on, like when he finally does actually have to do some stuff. He's like, God, I'm jumping in the air and clapping and running in circles, and kept him going for like nearly an hour, and he ended up like falling down, and everybody else was fine.
So he did not do a very convincing.
So in many ways, it is kind of like a Naked Gun because he's
literally
a tough
naked.
guy. Yeah, and really
in this book, probably not in every book in which Shell appears.
Yes, but in
did he wear even a shell?
I don't want to know.
So anyway, things go on, and he leaves and then does a lot of work with informants and trying to find out what happened to this guy, and then he meets this.
Okay, what's the ending? What's the end? Just cut to the chase.
So the ending is he puts a lot of the leads together and discovers that this big bad guy called Mr. Norman, I forget what his first name is, basically convinced Anton Popeil, who was a shyster. He was a con man who would basically get wealthy dowagers to fall in love with him, and then he'd abscond with their money. And so this big criminal guy basically made Anton Popel think that he had killed somebody and then was blackmailing him for Vera Redstone, the older Redstone daughter's money. And he actually was the one, he ends up killing the elder, Madame Redstone, who hired Shell. And
The poopy guy does?
no, the Norman guy.
The poopy guy.
And it's funny because he calls him Poopy.
Yeah. Somebody was calling him poopy. And it was like some
in the bit you
chick,
read to us,
some girl was calling him Poopy.
Yeah, that was
like
Vera.
as his sweet nickname. Oh, Poopy.
Yeah.
I would change my name if that was my nickname.
Totally.
Nope. No offense, but this book sounds terrible and boring to me. Like it's not. I clearly am not the target audience.
So at the end, I'm going to try to get to the end.
Yeah. We were cutting to
So
the chase.
after a lot of, tough guy beating guys up and being saved, and the bad guys come to the nudist colony after Shell has gotten
Were
drunk.
they naked or did they stay in their
They were naked,
strictly
but they
bad
put
guy?
bags on their heads so that they wouldn't be recognized.
That's not suspicious.
I mean,
at
like,
all.
that's what my dad always, he was like, what should you cover if you're naked and someone suddenly walks into the room? And I was like, everything? He's like, no, your face, so they don't know who you are. I'm like, okay.
Wow. Okay. I don't even know what to say to that.
Like, why did you think we should have this conversation at supper? I'm confused.
Don't know, especially because I can't picture your dad saying that
there
at all.
we go. They covered their heads with bags because then no one would know.
Yeah, but also
So-
people would be like, why are these weirdos with bags on their heads here? Like, who are these guys? You know,
So
it's just drawing attention to yourself.
They wish to remain anonymous,
So formerly he had filled a bunch of balloons allegedly with natural gas, which
is
doesn't.
very bad idea.
But it doesn't. I don't think natural gas floats, which is problematic. But
And it's very
they were
explosive.
supposed to float, and
So lost
So
and
he-
confused about all of this, and I don't want to know.
he runs away from them to this balloon ladder setup
From
that he
the
had
bag
used
head guys.
from the baghead guys
Okay.
that he had formerly put against this cliff face in order to retrieve a slug that somebody had shot at him to match it with another thing.
Okay, because this is getting like
Oh, before you said something about a slug, and I was like, why would he? What does a slug have to do? And I was thinking of a
slug
naked
and not
snail, a
a
slug.
naked snail.
So anyway,
It's a nudist colony.
so the book.
I literally thought of slug when you told me that last night. Granted, it was past midnight.
So the book ends with him cutting the rope ladder and floating away into Los Angeles naked,
But I thought
hanging from these helium balloons, running away from the bad guys. And so he lands on the LA, the city hall or whatever, and bangs into the window, and the receptionist that he likes recognizes him, and then all the police laugh at him and stuff.
It totally sounds like a Naked Gun movie.
It has a lot of fairly, but the thing is, it's in a lot of ways different than 50 Shades of Grey because he's
in the fact that it doesn't. Never mind. Anyway,
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that one. You're just saying that it's
someone who doesn't
taste.
have
We can't account for taste.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
well,
and
and someone who
it's-
doesn't not actually a write they're a writer, but they're not they just decided I'm gonna write a book kind of thing.
Well, and he doesn't take it too seriously, and there is a
I feel
lot of
like
humor.
E.L. James
and-
takes it seriously.
No, I'm talking about Richard Prather.
Okay, 'cause E.L.
this guy
James
is
thinks it's a
he's
good
a
book.
tough guy and he's all this stuff, but he gets fairly humiliated in the whole course of the thing, and it's
Again, Naked Gun movie. It's like yeah.
in some ways it's almost satiric that he's this big tough guy, but really ends
A
up being
bumbling oaf.
in different places. Yeah. So would I recommend it? Maybe you just want a bologna sandwich.
Okay.
It's up to you, Debbie. Redeem this episode.
So I
don't know how much
read
time you have, but-
I will be brief. I read 2 books that on the surface are very, very different. One is a book it's a translation of a book that was written in the 1940s by a Hungarian author. It was originally written in Hungarian, then translated into German, then translated into English. So it kind of makes you think about the telephone game, like how much is actually accurate. But hopefully the translators were responsible and did a good job. It was a good story. In English, it's called Embers. It has a very long name in Hungarian that I no idea how to pronounce. And it is by...
Just pronounce it badly.
I would have to find back where it says. Anyway, it's by Sandor Marai. And then the other book is The Lost Story by Meg Schaffer, which was published in 2024. So Embers is a historical fiction, set in the former part of the story is in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and then part of it is in the former Austro-Hungarian Empire, because, of course, that empire is no more after World War I. And The Lost Story says that, inside the cover says that it is inspired by C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia, this wild and wondrous novel is a fairy tale for grown-ups who still knock on the back of wardrobes just in case. And I'm one of those. I don't know who else, if you guys also would love to wander into a fantastical other world.
I do every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mean our bookstore?
Yes, it is a fantastical one. Anyway, so on the surface, they seem like two very, very different books. But then right before we started this, I realized they are connected, because both of them are stories about two boys who are best friends and what happens to them as they grow up. And the results are very, very different. One is happy and good, and one is basically tragic.
But you liked both of the books?
I enjoyed both of them, yes. They are very different in writing style as well. The Lost Story is very humorous and fantastic, because they end up in, it's sort of Narnia-esque. And does have, even in the parts that are in our world, lots of references to C.S. Lewis, which I enjoy. Like, there's one scene where they're in the Eagle and Child, which Lance and I visited there, because it's where Lewis and Tolkien and other writers met to discuss their books in Oxford.
Inklings.
The Inklings, yep. And the other one is, in Embers, is very tragic. And the sticker on the cover says, beautifully sparse, suspenseful, and thrilling. And yeah, it is it's like one of those books that says a lot with very little. Do you know what I mean? Like, some books are over the top descriptive, and some books, like Jane Austen, can make one sentence and you understand that character. This book is more like that. So it's very different style of writing, but yeah, essentially they're both two stories about two boys who meet. Well, I think that the boys in Embers are more like 11, 12 when they meet at military school. And the two boys in The Lost Story are supposed to be freshmen in high school when they meet. But basically, it's about each story is about two young men and their relationship and where it goes.
What draws the young men together or apart?
So in Embers, they end up being separated because of a woman and because of just class distinctions. And so, yeah, they end up, it's a story of betrayal. Whereas The Lost Story, they're brought together by their love of art and beauty. I would recommend both.
Okay, so what food items are each of them?
Okay, so The Lost Story is like something yummy and fun. Let's see.
Braunschweiger.
No.
Wow. No.
Okay, so it's like something familiar but a little different. So it's like your favorite pizza with a little tweak that makes it new and different.
Braunschweiger.
Whereas Embers is more like, that's harder. Like I said, the prose is very sparse. It tells you everything, but with a minimum of words. What do you guys think? It's like It's like the reduced fat version of your favorite food.
That doesn't sound nice at all.
I know. It's painful to read.
Or would it be like, oh, if it's painful, then reduced
Well,
fat would make sense.
it's painful and sad because it's like these two started out caring for each other.
It's like quiche. Because
Quiche is good. What are you talking about?
quiche is like a failed pie.
No, it is
quiche
not.
is like
Stop
if it would have tried harder, it could have been a pie.
They were very interesting to read together in juxtaposition, but Embers is definitely for those people who like historical novels, and The Lost Story is, as the cover says, for people who grew up loving Narnia and still wish that they themselves could wander into a different world.
Wow. Megan is just beaming right now. So excited about life. Thank you so much for hanging out with us so far. And we are getting to the end of this. So if you have any interest in these, the Richard S. Prather, you're going to, good luck finding that one.
It's probably still sitting in our store because I doubt anyone bought it before now.
Somebody snapped up all the others. Like this is one of the last ones.
That's insane to me. Okay, never mind. Ignore my previous
Who knows?
statement.
We never know with used books what's going to go and what doesn't.
It's true.
It's so surprising to me.
The 100,000 Kingdoms, they can get it either at the store or on, if you want to check out our bookshop.org, you can get it as an ebook, or also you can ship to home.
There's probably an audio version as well, I'd imagine.
And both of those are in the store at this time, Debbie? At sometime in the distant past.
At the end of this recording, yes, I will be putting them in the used inventory, but who knows if they are there when you're listening.
Someone could have bought them, yeah.
If not, we'll be happy to find them and order them for you, because we do that for people because we're an independent bookstore and we like to help our customers find the books they want.
Yes.
Especially if it's weird and hard to find, come and see me. Until next time.
We'll meet you in the middle. Hey, I'm Megan from Middle Ground Books. Thanks for listening to Middle Ground Books After Hours with me, Debra, and Lance. If you're in Emporia, stop in and see us at 606 Commercial Street. Browse books and other fun stuff, sip some tea, and just enjoy the bookshop vibes. Middle Ground Books After Hours is produced and remotely engineered by Cosmic Atom Sound Studios, producing the vision and making it sound. Cosmic Atom Sound Studios. Let's come together and build something new. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, we'll meet you in the middle.
Strongly disagree.
Quiche always makes me sad.
No.
Like, it's like,
It's delicious. I don't know what you're talking about. If you're expecting a pie, sure.
Well, listen, hear me out.
It's good in its own right.
Hear me out. Because it's like you said, it's sad, but it's still good.
Okay.
So
what you're saying is if you were expecting pie and you got quiche, but it is wholesome and good and you appreciate it because it's beautifully done and executed, okay, I guess. Yes, I have been brought to agree with your viewpoint.
But if you thought it was going to be pie, you just go away so sad.